a few people that wanted. Um, but thank you so much. I see some names on here that I know and I actually love, so it's just fun to see. Just so you know who I am, Melanie Speeder. I grew up in here in Minnesota. I'm actually at our family cabin this week on vacation, and I have three kiddos. One is 12, one is 9, and our youngest is 5, going into kindergarten this year. I'm a former teacher with a plus 60. So for you teachers out there, I do know all that stuff. Taught for 12 years at the high school level, started an AVID program that we sadly found out was being cut this year in Lakeville. So I love the teachers and appreciate all of each every one of you because I get it. But I started in this industry about 8 years ago, right after our second son was born, and had some success and grew businesses there and learned a lot, and actually stepped away from teaching about be 6 years now, after right before Elsie. And I was in the skincare industry and a healthcare industry, and I've learned a lot throughout the years, and that what's helped me get to kind of where we are and finding this business and this company, because I have learned a lot. And I believe truly what is here is just a gift. It's such a new company, and the products have been crazy for our family. So I've always struggled with sleep. That was always my biggest issue. I was actually put on a very strong medication from my doctor several years ago and was taking it, but then I started having gut issues. And for a while, then I was like, oh, maybe I'm gluten intolerant because my husband's family all is. And so we were trying all these things. Finally realized it was actually the sleep meds that were causing the problem, and was trying to find other natural ways to help me sleep and other vitamins and nutrients. And I started taking this CBD and the sleep jellies a few months ago, and I am finally sleeping through the night, especially with our new full spectrum ones. These things are money. And I know Allie's going to get into a lot more of the products and everything. I usually take them about 4:30 in the afternoon, and then I take a sleep jelly right before I go to sleep. But Cameron, my oldest, which this is what stood out to me, is one day I woke up and he came down. He was like, Mom, you're finally sleeping well. And I was like, what do you mean I'm sleeping well? He goes, I can tell. And I'm like, oh my gosh, was I that much of a bee in the morning when I came down to get my coffee? Or like, what was it that came across that he even noticed that something like that is not just affecting me, but it was affecting our family? And so I am grateful for that, these products. I've also been on other anxiety meds and stuff throughout the years and have loved using this. I take one of the nano jellies in the morning. And then I take my full spectrum at night, and it just helped me get through all those icky feelings, or there's feelings where you're just like, I want to like just scream sometimes. I have stopped having those because of these jellies. They've made me feel better. I'm a better mom. I'm a better person. And my husband also takes them. And he is not on social media and will not be very vocal about it, but he is when you ask him about it, because he has a lot of knee pain and shoulder pain from sports. And it's just helped him a lot. And I could get into a lot of the other things. We use the rollers and stuff on our kids. Love the products so much. But really, there's so much growth and opportunity, not only in CBD, but in helping people with something that can help them internally be better, and just be their best selves. So I'm going to throw it over to Allie. This is my girlfriend that I've met through the business, and she is super successful and has so much to share with all of you. So I'm excited for you to hear from her and ask any questions that you guys have too along the way.
Hi guys, thank you, Melanie. I'm Allie. I am in Virginia Beach, and I'm married. I have two kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I'm praying that my 4-year-old does not sneak in here as I do this. And I am a former teacher as well. I taught for 6 years, and then I was a vice principal of a special education program we have here in my state. And I loved it. But when I had my first child, I quickly realized that teachers don't make that much, and I needed to kind of offset that daycare bill. So that's kind of how I found the direct selling industry. It was not something I ever saw myself doing. I was a big hater. I knew as soon as I joined, my sister was going to make fun of me. It was just not something I ever saw myself doing. But I joined, and when I do something, I commit. And so I worked really hard in that previous company. I always say it's like my previous life. Um, and I worked really hard with that previous company, and I was able to make a really nice income and kind of match what my teacher salary was bringing in. But about 4 years in, I looked and I said, you know what? I don't know if my effort is exactly matching my income anymore. And I was looking around and everybody was like, you can do this with direct sales and that with direct sales. And I was scrolling social media at the time, like a lot of us do. And I saw this girl, Emily, my friend Emily, posting about Green Compass. And I was like, what is she doing? Because she was in my previous company and I was like, she's posting about CBD. I was like, that is absolutely the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I was like, you can get CBD at a gas station. You can get it at a grocery store. I was like, I cannot believe what is happening with people. Like I was like talking crap about, about her basically and what she was doing because I just could not believe it. So I just kept scrolling and minding my own business and complaining about my other business in my head. And over the next 6 months, I watched my friend Emily change her life, like right before my eyes. I couldn't even believe it. So I had enough and I finally reached out to her and I said, okay, just tell me, give me everything I need to know. Just tell me what I need to know. And she did. And I could not look away from it anymore. I said, okay. And I remember like it was yesterday, I was teaching summer school. I didn't even tell my husband what I was doing. And I joined Green Compass. And what took me 4 years to build with that previous company, I was able to surpass in 4 weeks here at Green Compass. And it was not me because I was still the same person. I still had the same skill set. I was still doing the same things, but it was the fact that I aligned myself with a very different product and a very different company. So before we kind of get into Green Compass, I just want to kind of say this. If somebody invites you to a call like this, it's not that they want something from you. It's that they want something for you. So our mission at Green Compass is really, really big. And so I truly hope that you can feel that through this call tonight. And I hope that you enjoy what you're about to hear. So enough about me. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get started with our kind of how we got started. So Green Compass all started because a mom, Meredith Cook, our founder, was looking for quality CBD to give her kids. And maybe some of you guys are moms. And when we want to give something to our kids, we tend to look at the ingredients, a little harder. And that's what she was doing. And she quickly realized there was nothing that met her standards on the market that she trusted enough to give her kids. And that's when she realized, okay, there is a need. There is a big need in the market for quality CBD. And she kind of met with her husband, Sterling, who was also a founder in their company, and they created Green Compass. So just by that little snippet, you can probably tell the CBD industry is 100% unregulated. So there's a lot of junk out there. And that's kind of why I want to start off by just covering what you want to look for that sets CBD apart. So there's 4 things that set Green Compass apart in this space. And the first thing is we are USDA certified organic. And not only is our products USDA certified organic, but our soil is organic. And that really truly matters because hemp, which is what CBD is derived from, is a mock crop or a scavenger plant. So anything you put the hemp plant in, it is going to soak up. So if you're putting it in soil that contains pollutants or contaminants or anything like that, it is basically going to soak it up. So we make sure that we have top-notch soil, and our soil is organic within a 5-mile radius. The next thing that kind of sets us apart is we're vertically integrated. And that just means we are completely farm to family. So we control the whole process. So we plant the seeds, we grow it, harvest it, extract it, bottle it, ship it. No one comes in and touches our products at all. There's no middleman. So we 100% control the quality from start to finish. It's also really cool is I'm sure nowadays you hear about like shortages and stock, you know, in many different companies. We don't have that because we get to control everything all the time. We're not waiting for this to get here and that to get here. We always control it. The third thing is the extraction process. So we use CO2 extraction versus many companies are using alcohol to extract their hemp. And CO2 is the cleanest extraction to date, and it just provides the best product without taking away from the integrity of the plant. And then lastly, we only use the flower, the hemp flower. A lot of CBD companies are using the whole plant, so the seed, the stalk, the stem, because it creates a lot of quantity, but not a lot of quality. And I always like to say, so at Green Compass, our farmers are actually part of our corporate team, and they hand pick each hemp flower in our fields, which is really cool. So they really are super careful with our plants. The next is a little bit about our products. I'm not going to go into everything we have, but the advocate who invited you will be sure to do that if you guys have more questions. I'm going to kind of go into just the bread and butter products we have, which is our oil and our jellies. So we obviously have CBD oil. They're called tinctures, and it comes in a variety of flavors and strengths. And what is really cool is, let me see if you can see that. On the bottom of all of our products, we have a QR code. And this is just another measure we have into place so that you guys can scan this and pull up a certificate of analysis and see exactly what is in our products and exactly what is not in our products, that you can feel really safe either sharing this with your friends and family or giving it to friends and family. And, you know, our jellies and our tinctures come in full spectrum and broad spectrum. So broad spectrum is no THC, completely safe for the whole family, safe for breastfeeding, pregnancy, all that. Full spectrum has the legal limit of THC, which is 0.3%, and that is the legal limit in all 50 states. So these are our jellies. These are my family's favorite. My kids take the broad spectrum ones. This is what they look like. My kids take the broad spectrum ones. I take the broad in the morning because they give me a little bit of, you know, that focus and clarity and a little bit of an energy burst that I need to get my day started. And then I take the full spectrum around 3 or 4 o'clock when I kind of just like need to get through a little bit of that witching hour with my kids and then kind of chill into dinner time, baths and all that. But what sets our gummies apart, our jellies apart compared to gummies on the market is we have something proprietary to Green Compass that is called nanotechnology. That means that we were able to nano size the molecules in our gummies so that they can go through the digestive tract and actually get absorbed. So maybe you guys have tried other CBD on the market or CBD jellies on the market, and you're like, okay, that didn't work, didn't feel anything. Well, that's because they were not nano-sized and they were not water soluble. So you probably had no absorption at all. Ours are nano-sized and they're water soluble. So the absorption rate is between 90 and 95%. And that is absolutely key because you're spending your hard-earned money on these products. You want them to work, right? So we have these in full spectrum and broad spectrum. Also, the full spectrum that just came out, they work within like 15, 20 minutes. And the longevity of these last up to 24 hours. So there's nothing like this on the market. The innovation we have is next level. So if you've never tried anything with us, your best bet is to try what we call the Restore and Balance bundle. And that is a full-size tincture and a full-size jar of jellies. And you get this for $99, which is basically a BOGO deal because one product alone would be $99. And that's is that what's called? Balance and Restore bundle. All right, so that, and if you have any questions about that bundle, just get with the advocate who invited you, and I'm sure they will be more than willing to go over that with you. But I'm going to kind of transition now into the business part of CBD. So,
Allie, can I just
Yeah.
add something quick about the jellies?
of course,
It just happened right. So our middle son has just been having random anxiety attacks lately. He had his third one the other night here at the cabin. And where he has like a fast heartbeat, he can't breathe. And I know a lot of people have a lot of success with their kids with the jellies. And so it was the first time we gave him one, and I gave him half of one as we sat here, and he calmed down as he laid on me. And then in like I put in the comments, but in like 10 minutes, he was finally fine, completely relaxed, had no more stress, was ready to go to sleep. It was crazy. My husband too was sitting here. He's like, I've never seen anything like that.
yeah.
And he was himself, like completely himself, woke up the next morning, felt great, ready for the day. But wanted to share, like there's, so many kids that benefit from this too. On different levels with anxiety, and just sharing a personal story before you get in, move on. So
No, that's great. I mean, like I said, I have a 4-year-old and 6-year-old, and my kids I've been with Green Compass for 3 years now. So my youngest has been taking our jellies since she was 1. And my 6-year-old actually suffers himself from some significant anxiety and separation anxiety from me when he goes to school. And the jellies, along with some therapy, have been very instrumental in helping him cope with that in his toolbox. So they are great products. I mean, he knows each morning, like, Mom, I need, and he takes a half of one and he'll ask for it because he knows it helps balance his body. And I'll just add this on. So, hemp and marijuana are different plants. So we're not talking about marijuana. We're talking about the hemp plant. Hemp is to heal and marijuana is to feel. So like I started this when I was a teacher and I wasn't going to work selling drugs. Okay, guys. So we're dealing with like healing and health and wellness and everything like that. So rest assured, no one's giving anything to their kids that's illegal or anything like that. So there's no psychoactive effects at all in any of our products. If that's what you are looking for, I'm sorry, that's just not what we have. All right, so the CBD market, this is like my favorite part because it really has been life-changing for my whole family. My husband was a teacher too. That's how we met. So this has been a long journey for us. So the CBD market as a whole is valued at about $5 billion right now, and it's projected to be about $28 billion in the next 5 years. So it's one of the fastest growing industries because of the high demand. And that's why this business model with this product makes so much sense. And so when you're looking at a business opportunity in the direct selling space, there's a couple things that you want to look for, and that is the timing of the opportunity, the product that they offer, and does it bring value to the consumer, and how rare is the company, how rare is the mission. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say, like, we definitely check all of those boxes here at Green Compass, or I wouldn't be sitting here taking time away from my family, a couple days a week, letting my husband, put them to bed and me missing out on all that time. I wouldn't have risked my income of my previous business and started over from scratch if I didn't know 100% that there was something special here. So I'm just going to go over those really quickly, but the first thing is the timing. So Green Compass is still technically ground level, and that means that anything ground level means there's less than 25,000 advocates. We have about 8,000 active advocates across the whole United States. And in the direct selling social retail space, we're in year 4. So that's right. And I didn't make this up. Like, you could Google this. There is a real graph. Like, this did not come from me. That's where like the momentum and hyper growth phase meet. So we're right on the edge of that. And basically, we've set the foundation. We have the systems in place. We've worked out all the kinks of a startup. We're solid, and we've grown to a point that we're right in that acceleration point. So the next couple of years are really, really, really going to be good. We've already experienced some of that growth, and I know the people that are coming in are really excited. And I like to kind of say this for my numbers people out there. Our consulting firm came in right before we launched and projected us in year 1 to do about $300,000 in sales. And we did 1 million in our first 45 days. And then we did 12 million that first year, and we've doubled it every year since. So we definitely have the track record to prove what we're saying. But the next thing that I just want to mention is, it's so important to have a product that is anchored in value, because everybody's selling something, right? But if it's not a product that's anchored in value and it's based on like a fad or a trend, there's no longevity. But CBD is not a fad or a trend. Hemp has been around for centuries, and it's not going anywhere. Okay. And CBD creates a better quality of life for everybody. You have less pain, less anxiousness, better sleep, less stress, more energy, better digestion, appetite control, all of that. And because it creates a better quality of life, that's why we have a 73% customer retention rate, because people are using it, loving it, and not willing to go without it. And it's also why more people are coming over here, having success with other companies and they previously didn't, because we're creating that value. We're creating value with both the product and the business. And then third, you want to look at how rare of an opportunity is this. And I'll be the first to say CBD is not rare. I already said that. You can get it anywhere, right? But 80% of CBD is white labeled, and it's imported from China. And what they do is they all have the same formula CBD. They import it. They bulk buy it from China, slap their pretty label on it, and sell it to the consumer. You could put water in a bottle right now and put a label on it and sell it as CBD. There are no tests, no regulations, nothing at all in the CBD industry. And so everybody is trying to capitalize on it. That's where we come in. We 100%, our standards, our quality, our farms, our mission are to be as transparent as possible and lead the industry in innovation. So what's really cool is our founders, Meredith and Sterling, were actually just asked by Congress to sit at the hemp roundtable, because let's be honest, there are going to be laws and regulations coming with anything, they're going to get involved. But our company was asked to sit there because they wanted their opinion, because they know we're doing everything right. And when the laws and regulations do come, all of these other companies and stores and companies that are white labeling in the grocery, they're all going to be shut down. All that CBD is going to go somewhere, but we're going to be left, and we're going to be the household name and that trusted resource for people to go to. And we just want to be able to have that. We want people to know that we are that safe place, and our mission, not only to have the best products, but also to create that financial wellness for people, is rare. So before I open it up for a little Q&A for anyone that does have questions, I want you guys to think about these two things. What if someone were to ask you in the early 80s to invest in a tech startup called Apple, and you said no? Would you regret it? Or what if someone came up to you in the early 2000s and asked you to invest in a little thing called Google, and you turned it down? Would you regret it? Because that is what we are doing right here. That is the kind of opportunity we have right now. And we would love to have you on this mission we are on here at Green Compass. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to stop the recording.